But we've still got a long way to go from here, about 1,000-foot rock scramble up to the top of Kings.
That was Reece Stein in 1983. He's reporting from the top of Kings Peak with his son by his side. Now, at that point, Reece had already been an outdoor reporter for more than a decade. He traveled around the world. He'd met people from every walk of life, told stories that inspired and uplifted. But in a lot of ways, it was still only the beginning. Now, 2018 marks 50 years in the outdoors for Reece Stein, reporting and filming his exploits from one corner of the globe to the other. His memories are recorded in countless stories, cataloging the adventures of life and the people that make it worth living. The most surprising thing, though, is that Reece's journey actually started with some bad news.
Well, I came back out of the Army in 1968, and I started looking for work. I thought I had a job at the University of Utah, but Kennecott was on strike, and the U had to cut back their budget, and they cut back the job I was supposed to get. So the guy I was supposed to work for took me around to all the media, and luckily for me, the news director at Channel 2 was a Korean War veteran. I had just come back from Korea. We sat together for 2 hours and told war stories, and he hired me. I was a news reporter, general assignments. In those days, we had a half hour of local news from 6 to 6:30. Channel 2 decided to expand its local news to an hour, and they were worried they wouldn't be able to fill that second half hour. He said, "You're going to be the outdoor reporter." And I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "You're going to cover the outdoors." And I said, "You mean you want me to go hunting and fishing and camping and hiking and skiing, motorcycling and snowmobiling, and you're going to pay me?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Let me check, but I think I can work that into my busy schedule."
And that was the beginning of an odyssey that has continued uninterrupted for 50 years. Where most reporters are forced to shift from city to city across the country and change their focus multiple times in order to further their careers, Reece has been able, through the power of his personal storytelling style, to do what he loved without compromise. The outdoors became his news studio, and that led him to locales that many of us don't even know exist.
The places I have gotten to go, I've done stories in every nook and cranny in the state of Utah and in most of the intermountain states, at least 50 foreign countries. And then the people you meet are amazing, especially the kids.
And you know, some of those kids not only left lasting impressions, but became the focus of some of his favorite work.
Well, my all-time favorite story is called Sam's First Buck. And this is a story about a 14-year-old boy from Cedar City who was born with severe birth defects. He just had a torso, no legs. Dad had to carry him around, but he got a free deer hunting expedition when he turned 14. And I got to go out with him and his dad and his brother looking for deer. And it turned out to be my all-time favorite story. Later that day, right at sunset, he was able to take the deer that they wanted him to take. And it was just one of those magical stories that just came together.
Over the course of his career, Reece worked for Salt Lake City stations before finally, 10 years ago now, settling in with At Your Leisure. Since then, he's traveled with his trusty field producer and wife, Mary Ann. He and Mary Ann have covered stories from right next door all the way to some of the most exotic locales on Earth: India, Africa, Europe, Antarctica. I mean, even right now, he's filming a story in Lithuania. Where he'll be next, that's anyone's guess. After 50 years of reporting, Reece has earned the right to go wherever he wants. And you know, he wouldn't have it any other way.
I love it. I love getting out. I love the people that I've worked with in the outdoors. The outdoor people are the best. And just to be out with them and to have an excuse every couple of weeks to go out and be with them and to take their picture and to hear their stories. I want people to get off the couch when they're done, when the show's over, to turn off their TV and start packing up to head to the outdoors. It's been a phenomenal 50 years. I just hope the next 50 years are as much fun.
And you know, my friend, we all hope the same thing. Reece, congratulations on 50 years. We'll be there for the next 50 too. I'm Terry Wood.
Reece Stein, Newswatch 2 in Yellowstone.